I still remember the sound of the fork scraping against the plate. That's what I was focused on when my mother said it. Not her face, not the words at first. Just that metallic scrape, scrape, scrape as she cut into her pork chop like nothing was about to change. Cheryl, your father and I need to talk to you about something. I looked up. My brother Derek was smirking into his mashed potatoes. My sister Amanda wouldn't meet my eyes. That's when I knew. We've sold the house, Mom said. Casual. Like she was telling me she'd bought new curtains. The buyers want to close in 30 days. So you'll need to find somewhere else to live. The dining room went silent except for the ceiling fan rattling overhead. I set my fork down slowly. You sold the house? Yes. The house I've been helping you maintain for the last 8 years. Well, she said, glancing at my father, who suddenly found his dinner fascinating. We didn't think you'd mind. You're 34, Cheryl. It's time. Time. As if living here had been some kind of extended vacation. As if I hadn't been the one driving them to doctor's appointments, fixing the leaking roof, paying half the property taxes when Dad's hours got cut. As if I hadn't put my own life on hold after Amanda's second divorce when she needed someone to watch her kids 3 days a week. Where are you two moving? I asked. We bought a condo in Scottsdale, Dad said quietly. 2-bedroom. It's real nice. 2-bedroom. I let that sink in. So there's no room for me. Honey, you're an adult, Mom said, and there was that edge in her voice. That tone that meant the conversation was over. We've raised you. We've done our part. Derek has his own family. Amanda's getting back on her feet. It's time for us to live a little. Amanda finally looked at me. There was something like pity in her eyes, but it disappeared fast when Mom glanced her way. How long have you known? I asked. A few months, Mom said. We just didn't want to upset you during the holidays. It was April. The holidays had been 4 months ago. I nodded slowly, took a sip of water, set the glass down with a steady hand. Okay? I said. Mom blinked. Okay. 1 month. I'll be out. I saw the relief flood her face. She'd expected tears probably, begging, maybe some guilt trip about everything I'd done for them. But I'd learned a long time ago that tears didn't work with my mother. Neither did logic. Neither did love. Derek cleared his throat. That's real mature of you, Cher. I looked at him. Really looked at him. My older brother who'd borrowed $20,000 from Dad for his business venture that never materialized. Who still showed up every Sunday for Mom's spot roast and left with Tupperware containers full of leftovers. Yeah, I said. I'm real mature. That night, I sat in my room, the smallest bedroom in the house. The one I'd taken when I moved back in at 26 after my engagement fell apart. The walls were still the pale yellow I'd painted them in high school. There were nail holes from posters I'd hung 20 years ago. This room held every version of me that had ever existed, and my parents had sold it without asking, without even telling me. I opened my laptop and pulled up a file I'd created 3 years ago. A file I'd honestly hoped I'd never need. But I wasn't stupid. I'd seen the way things were going. When I was 26 and broken-hearted, Mom had sat me down at this very kitchen table. Stay as long as you need, she'd said. But we need to make it official. Legal. Your father's worried about liability, you know. With the house, I'd been too numb to care. Too grateful to have somewhere to go. So I'd signed the papers she put in front of me without reading them carefully. A live-in caregiver agreement, she'd called it. Room and board in exchange for helping with household tasks, errands, and care as my parents aged. What I didn't realize until much later, until I actually read those papers during a sleepless night 2 years ago, was what else I'd signed. A rental agreement. Officially documented. 12 months minimum. Renewable annually. Which we'd renewed every single year with signatures and dates. And according to California tenant law, I wasn't just family. I was a legal tenant. Which meant they couldn't just kick me out with 30 days notice to move out of state. They owed me 60 days minimum, and that was if they followed the proper legal eviction process, which they hadn't. I didn't say anything. Not that week. Not the next. I watched my parents excitedly show Derek and Amanda pictures of their new condo. Watched them pack boxes marked Scottsdale and storage and donate. I helped sometimes. Carried boxes to the garage. Smiled when Mom talked about the golf course views. You find a place yet? Dad asked me one evening, almost sheepish. Working on it, I said. That seemed to satisfy him. 3 weeks in, Mom started getting antsy. Cheryl, the closing is in 9 days. Have you signed a lease somewhere? Not yet. Not yet? Honey, you need to get moving. We can't delay the closing. I know. So what's your plan? I looked up from my coffee. I'm working on it, Mom. Her jaw tightened. You're not going to make this difficult, are you? Something cold settled in my chest. Would I do that? Closing day came. Mom and Dad flew to Arizona to sign papers and get the keys to their new place. They'd be gone for 5 days getting settled. We'll be back to finish packing, Mom said at the airport. And you'll be moved out by then, right? Sure, Mom. She studied my face looking for something, but I kept it blank, pleasant, daughterly. Good girl, she said, and kissed my cheek. I watched them disappear through security, and something inside me finally let go. The new owners were a young couple, mid-20s. He was a software engineer. She was a nurse. They had a baby on the way and a golden retriever named Sunny. I met them at a coffee shop the day after my parents left. I'm so sorry about this, I said, and I meant it. I don't want to make your lives difficult. They looked confused, nervous. Our lawyer said we should talk to you, Jessica, the wife said carefully. Something about tenants' rights? I nodded. I've been living in the house for 8 years. I have a legal rental agreement with my parents. They didn't give me proper notice or follow eviction procedures, which means, technically, I'm still a legal tenant. And that doesn't change just because the house sold. Drop your city in the comments. Let's see how far this story travels. Marcus, the husband, ran a hand through his hair. So, what does that mean for us? It means you bought a house with a sitting tenant, which your real estate agent and your lawyer should have caught in the title search. I paused. Did anyone tell you someone was living there? They looked at each other. Your parents said their daughter was staying there temporarily but would be gone before closing. Right. They lied. Jessica's eyes widened. Can they do that? No, actually. It's fraud. Selling a property without disclosing a legal tenant is a material misrepresentation. I pulled out a folder. I documented everything. Rental agreements. Signed renewals. Payment records, yes. I paid rent. Not much, but it's documented. 8 years of tenancy. Marcus looked like he might be sick. We have a baby coming. We can't afford a legal battle. You won't have to, I said gently. I'm not here to screw you over. You seem like good people. This is between me and my parents, so what do you want? Jessica asked. I want to stay in the house for 6 months. After that, I'll move out voluntarily, no drama. In exchange, I'll pay you a fair rent, $1,500 a month. I'll maintain the property. No damage. No issues. And I'll sign an agreement that after 6 months, I'm gone. And you never have to deal with this again. They stared at me. 6 months. Marcus repeated. 6 months. It gives me time to save up for a deposit on a place. First and last month's rent. Moving costs. And it gives you rental income while you're waiting for the baby and figuring out if you really want to live there or flip it. Jessica looked at Marcus. Something unspoken passed between them. Why should we trust you? Marcus asked. Because I could make this much, much worse, I said honestly. I could refuse to leave, force an eviction, drag it out for a year, make you take my parents to court for fraud, destroy their credit and yours in the process. I folded my hands. I'm not that person. I'm just someone who got screwed over by her own family, and I want 6 months to land on my feet with dignity. Jessica's eyes softened. Your own family? My own family. They took the deal. Mom's first text came 2 days after closing. Mom, hope you're settling into your new place. Send us your address so we can mail you some things we found in the attic. I didn't respond. 3 days later. Mom, Cheryl, everything okay? Then, Mom, the buyers are asking questions about you. Did you leave something behind? I sent a single reply. Me. Still at the house. Talk soon. My phone rang immediately. What do you mean you're still at the house? Hi, Mom. How's Scottsdale? Cheryl Ann, what are you talking about? You were supposed to be out before closing, was I? Yes, we told you. You told me I had 30 days. That was illegal. I'm a legal tenant, Mom. You needed to give me 60 days minimum and follow proper eviction procedures. You didn't, so I'm still here. Silence. Long and cold. You're kidding? I'm not. Cheryl, this is ridiculous. The house is sold. You can't, I can. And I am. I worked it out with the new owners. I'll be here for 6 more months. 6 months? I held the phone away from my ear. You can't do this. That's our money. That's our sale. You're going to ruin. I'm not ruining anything. I'm exercising my legal rights as a tenant. Rights you created when you had me sign that rental agreement. That was just paperwork. That wasn't. It was a legal document, Mom. Signed and notarized. I checked with the lawyer. Another silence. You spoke to a lawyer? Her voice was different now. Scared. I did. Turns out selling a house without disclosing a sitting tenant is fraud. The buyers could sue you. They'd probably win. You told them. I had to. They deserve to know. How could you? We're your parents. And I'm your daughter, who you kicked out without proper notice, who you sold out from under. I heard Dad's voice in the background, muffled and panicked. Your father wants to talk to you, Mom said, ice in every syllable. Cher? Dad's voice was small. Sweetheart, can we work this out? We didn't know about the tenant thing. We thought you thought I'd just disappear. Be grateful. Take the hint. That's not. It is, Dad. We both know it is. He was quiet. 6 months, I said. That's all I'm asking. Then I'm gone. And you never have to think about me again. Honey, that's not fair, no. What's not fair is finding out over dinner that my family doesn't want me. What's not fair is watching Derek get money for his failed business and Amanda get free childcare and me get handed 30 days notice like I'm some stranger. My voice cracked. What's not fair is spending 8 years of my life helping you. And this is how you thank me. Cheryl, I hung up. Derek called an hour later. What the hell are you doing? Living my life. You're screwing over Mom and Dad. Am I? Or did they screw themselves by not following the law? This is family, Cheryl. You don't lawyer up against family. Family doesn't kick you out without warning. They gave you a month. They gave me 30 days for an out-of-state move, which isn't legal notice. And Derek? I paused. Where were you when they told me? You were smirking. I saw you. He went quiet. You thought it was funny, I said. You thought watching me get blindsided was entertaining. I didn't. Yeah, you did. I hung up on him too. Amanda's text came that night. Amanda, this is between you and them. Don't drag me into it. Me. Wasn't planning to. You made your position clear at dinner. Amanda, what's that supposed to mean? Me. You knew. You sat there and said nothing. Amanda, what was I supposed to do? Me. Say something. Anything. Hey, maybe kicking Cheryl out with 30 days notice is kind of messed up. Would have been a start. Amanda, you're being dramatic. Me. I'm being homeless. There's a difference. She didn't respond. The months that followed were the quietest of my life. I lived in the house, my house, temporarily, and I breathed. I saved money. I looked for apartments. I went to therapy and cried about things I'd been holding in for years. My therapist, Dr. Reeves, asked me once, "Do you feel guilty?" Sometimes, I admitted. About what? Using the law against them. Making things complicated. Did you break any laws? No. Did you lie? No. Did you do anything they didn't force you to do by selling the house without proper notice? I thought about that. No. Then why do you feel guilty? Because they're my parents. She nodded. And what did they teach you? About how you should be treated. I looked at my hands. That I'm not worth considering. That I'm the spare. The backup. The one who should just be grateful for whatever scraps they throw my way. And do you believe that? I met her eyes. I'm starting not to. Month 4. Mom sent an email. Subject line, please. I almost didn't open it. Cheryl, I know you're angry. I know we hurt you. But you're hurting us too. Every day we get calls from the buyers asking questions. Every day your father loses sleep over this. Derek says you won't talk to him. Amanda says you blame her. This isn't you. You've always been the easy one. The understanding one. Please. Can we just talk? Can we fix this? We love you. Mommy read it 3 times. Then I wrote back. Mom, you're right. I've always been the easy one. The one who didn't complain. The one who helped when you needed it and disappeared when you didn't. But you didn't love me when you sold the house without telling me. You didn't love me when you gave me 30 days like I was a tenant you were tired of. You didn't love me when Derek and Amanda got everything and I got nothing. You loved the version of me that was convenient. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt Dad. But I need these 6 months. I need time to figure out who I am when I'm not trying to earn your approval. After that, I'll be gone. Like you wanted. Cheryl, she didn't write back. Month 6 arrived faster than I expected. I'd found an apartment. Nothing fancy. A 1-bedroom in a complex 20 minutes away. It had a balcony and a dishwasher, and it was mine. Jessica and Marcus helped me move. They'd become something like friends over the months. We'd had dinners together, played with Sunny. I'd knitted a blanket for the baby. You didn't have to help, I told them as Marcus carried a box to the truck. You didn't have to make this easy, Jessica said. But you did. The house was empty by sunset. I did a final walkthrough, making sure I'd left it clean. Better than clean. I'd patched nail holes, touched up paint, deep cleaned the carpets. I stood in the kitchen one last time, remembering dinners and holidays and arguments and laughter. This house had held my whole life, and now it was someone else's. I locked the door and left the key on the counter, exactly where I'd promised, 6 months and 3 days after closing. I got a text from Mom. Mom, the buyers said you moved out. Thank you, Emmy. You're welcome, Mom. Can we see you? Maybe come visit for Thanksgiving? I stared at the message for a long time, Emmy. I don't think so. Not yet, Mom? When? Me. When I'm ready to be around people who see me as optional, Mom. That's not fair, Emmy. Probably not. But it's honest. She didn't respond. Derek sent a Facebook friend request 3 months later. I declined it. Amanda sent a birthday card. I didn't open it. Dad called once. I let it go to voicemail. He said he missed me. Said he was sorry. Said Mom was too proud to admit she'd been wrong. But he knew. He knew. I saved the voicemail. I'm not ready to call back yet. Maybe someday. It's been a year now since that dinner. Since the fork scraping the plate. Since the words that changed everything. I live alone. I have a job I like. I go to therapy. I've started dating someone who doesn't know my family and doesn't need to. Sometimes I drive past the old house. I see Jessica and Marcus' car in the driveway. I see toys in the yard. I see a life that isn't mine. And I feel something I didn't expect. Relief. Because I'm not the spare anymore. I'm not the backup. I'm not the one waiting for permission to exist. I'm just Cheryl. And that's enough. People ask me sometimes if I regret it. Standing up to them. Using the law. Making things messy. I don't. Because here's what I learned. Love isn't supposed to come with conditions. It's not supposed to be something you earn by being convenient. By being quiet. By disappearing when asked. Real love makes room for you. And if they couldn't make room, then I'd make my own. 6 months was all I asked for. 6 months to save money. To heal, to figure out that I deserved more than being an afterthought in my own family's story. And now I have the rest of my life. That's the real revenge. I think, not the lawyers, or the tenants' rights, or the shock on my mother's face when she realized I wasn't going to just fold. The revenge is being happy without them. The revenge is knowing I'm worth more than they were willing to give. The revenge is closing that door, locking it behind me and walking away, not because I hate them, but because I finally love myself more.